some props. He's been Twitter savvy for a bit. So we'll be discussing the individuals that have filed their nominations for the GFA presidency and also for the Executive Council. The local Black Stars will be in action this weekend against Burkina Faso. Maxwell Konedu will lead that team out. I'll be talking about that also with the chaps in a bit. Some way, somehow, we need to find a way to sneak in a Champions League recap. I don't know how we are going to do it, but we will do it. And then, of course, it's a big match day in the EPL. Big game. The Bridge will welcome the Red Army. Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Firmino and co. will visit Frank Lampard. Kevin Ogenyetega, Tamarebi Bakumo Abraham and his troops in blue will also be waiting. Show proudly brought to us by Betway and also by DSTV. You can join the conversation via text and WhatsApp 0549986996 0549986996. Also, you can tweet at me at Kojon Ketia. Use the hashtag Sports Panorama. My good friends are in here with me. Nathan Obodai Kwao. Speaking plenty French on the breakfast show today ahead. Shall I know, yes, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Mamie light on me.
Oh, bonsoir à tous. Bon, on va commencer. Hein. J'espère qu'on va s'amuser très bien aujourd'hui.
Coach Christopher Nimble is here. The rabbi. Yeah, Charlie. Daniel Kranting, Fentio Tahiro also hovering in the background. They will be joining us in a bit. But like we always do on the show, we start with an opening prayer. Coach, commit us into the hands of the Lord.
Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Mekadeshkem, Jehovah El Shaddai. Au, mwene soa, ni masoa, na masoa. Papa, mwene wababi ekowe. Tuambe no fiole, yo gbele amiye. Beno waka wajishin obiye, anu kwale ni jandu kwale. Waka bafoshi. Mwene akeme kume, ame ya fali. Atana ye, Ghana Football Association President. Waba kwame, na mejina kame, mena mekeba. Ye bo gbele na moni je ekanu kwale ba woba ne beshi din ne beshi ye Yesu gba mi. Amen.
Amen.
So today was deadline day for anybody hoping to file their nomination for the upcoming GFA presidency and also the Executive Council. Now we can confirm that Mr. George Afriyie, Kurt Okreku, Amanda Clinton, Nanaya Amponta, Kojo Yanka, George Ankoma Mensah, and Fred Papu have filed their nominations to contest the presidency of the GFA. Now, of course, there's some criteria to be followed. As far as these positions are concerned, I'll be reading those out to you, and then we will get into the discussion, the shenanigans, the backstory, and all that has happened. So, eligibility criteria is what I have in front of me now. Let's start off with the president. Now, the criteria says that the president must be a Ghanaian, must be of sound mind, and has not been detained as a person or mental disorder under any enactment. Now, there's a third article in the requirements for the president that used to that was going to be a thorn in the flesh of some of the candidates, but that has been expunged. So I'll be just telling you about that one. This one says that the person must have played an active role in association football, example as a player or an official of the GFA or member, for 2 of the last 5 years before being proposed as a candidate, and must pass eligibility check carried out by the relevant body or committee. Now, this particular article has been scrapped, and that's why you will find a personality like Amanda Clinton filing her nomination and being eligible to contest this presidency. Now, the 4th one says that must present declarations of support from at least 5 members of the GFA. Being proposed as a candidate by a member shall be understood as a declaration of support. Now, each member may only present a declaration of support for only one candidate. If a member presents declarations of support for more than a candidate, all of his declarations shall become invalid. Now, these or this criteria also applies to the individuals who want to stand for the executive council. Let me come to the guys in the studio. Let's refresh our minds here. Fentio Tahiru and Daniel Quanting have just joined us. Guys, welcome to the show. Fent,
Hello.
Let me start off with Fent. Looking very serious today. I don't know what's going on.
Did you see my? Can you see my jacket?
Yeah.
Did you see the people who came in to file the nominations? Did you see the videos? Did you see their appearance?
Charlie.
Charlie, you know,
The word on the street is that you are a campaign
what is
manager.
Inde?
Oh, Inde is
really?
short form of Indeura Jackpot. Inde is just short form of Indeura Jackpot.
That's a very important person in history.
Yeah, so listeners,
I don't know how it's relevant today, though.
listeners, pardon me if you hear me say Inde during any part of the
But
show.
of all of Fenton
wait.
Heroes' names, the name that I don't get is Gordon.
Charlie, you have to ask that about that one. I have absolutely no idea where the
Gordon?
yeah, Gordon, Charlie. Better can say Gordon. But friend, you are the premises of the FA today to witness the shenanigans that went down. Former GFA vice president.
Doki.
Oh, Charlie, don't do that. Former GFA, your microphone is off. Former GFA Vice President George Afriyie, he made quite the entrance, but picking, I mean, from what you picked up from the premises of the FA before the deadline, what's going on? What are the main issues we should be looking out for? Because this is a pretty routine procedure. You pick up your form, you get your backing support or your declaration of support from a club, and then you sit tight and wait for the eligibility test. What can you tell us from your visit to the FA today?
You see, before I start, I want to read a certain headline to you from Football Made in Ghana.
Please go ahead. Is it our good friend again?
No. It's not our good friend. It is from now Sheikh Tofik, our good friend. He's also our good friend. He's taking over the headlines. Nita. It is taking over the headlines. Show it to Daniel Cranton. Now, in the campaign era, to give you a bit of context, Football Made in Ghana is owned by Kets, right? Keto Kreku, who is contesting for the GFA presidency. And Sheikh Tofik is the editor of that particular website. Very experienced writer. Used to write for SoccerNet. Went to 442, spent 1 week, 2 days there. Then he left. Now, he's editor at Football Made in Ghana. Brilliant man. The headline today, after George Afriyie filed his nomination, it reads, and I quote, George Afriyie files for nomination with Langards.
I mean, are you serious?
Wait, what? No, see, but to be honest though, when I saw that motorbike video, my first impression was, what are these hoodlums doing at the premises of the Ghana Football
Why do you
Association?
think they are hoodlums, though?
Why do you think they are hoodlums? They are not.
They're just motor riders.
They're just people
It could
on
have
a
been
bike.
me.
Could have been anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? Anybody can own a bike.
With the sort of antics they enter the premises
I
with?
get your point. They are a little slightly off center. Agreed. But I'm only saying that we cannot call them hoodlums.
Well, they
I feel
look,
that's unfair.
No, but
You see, let me tell you
What
something.
is the headline again?
The headline is equally unfair. The headline says that. Okay, you read the headline.
The headline says, video column. George Afriyie storms GFA with Langas to file nomination.
Goodness me.
That's also very unfair.
That is very, very unfair.
Very.
And it should not be coming from somebody
Well,
like Sheikh Tawfiq, to be
well,
honest.
you
with
see?
you.
in all honesty, guys, in all honesty.
And then
look,
there's another
look,
one here
yeah,
that says, video. Ket Okreku enters GFA with Shatawales, kill them with prayers to file nomination.
I saw that video.
You guys, but
Oh man,
but-
I absolutely love this race already.
I really don't know what George was trying to prove with that entrance, because look, that entrance was chaotic, it was messy, it was untidy. You can say whatever you want, but I'm not saying they were hoodlums, but I will understand why somebody like Sheikh Tawfiq would allude to that. We all know where he's coming from. We all know what the agenda is, but I'm saying that look, if George,
I'm saying it wasn't necessary.
I don't know.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know what he was trying to prove with that sort of entrance. Perhaps by getting you record him with the camera and put it on social media, he has achieved his aim.
I mean, people like sometimes the drama.
Yeah.
Drama, Papa Bane.
People just
No,
like
what really stood out for me was the amount of fanfare these guys actually attached to just
Exactly.
coming to file a nomination.
Exactly. That's
It
my
came-
point. I
so-
find it unnecessary.
Yeah, so for example, George came with an entourage that was led by motorbike riders who were displaying all kinds of antics. I almost got hit by one. actually.
Exactly what I'm saying.
you know,
Exactly what I
because
am
I was
saying.
recording and I wasn't looking, I wasn't watching out, and this was inside the premises.
Hoodlum behavior.
Please, and they were honking, ping. He came out of a Range Rover. He walked there, then he walked here, and he walked with a very pacey walk.
I
with
saw
a
him.
serious face.
I saw him he was walking. Like, he didn't know what he was going. As if he didn't know the entrance to the
He
GF.
went there, then he came here, then he went inside, sat down a bit, came out, delivered a very long speech about how he got to where he is today, contesting. Then he went on to say that he has endorsement from 12 of the 16 Premier League clubs. Remember, you only need 5. He said he got 12. 12 of them. And he said that he was confident from all of the work he's done, all the work he did pre-normalization and post-normalization, because let's not forget, to be fair to George, he declared his intentions to contest Nyantakyi way back in April of 2018.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
On his birthday, March, in fact, I think. They call it the Mensvik Declaration. Because he did a birthday bash at Mensvik Hotel where he declared his intentions. At the time, he was still vice president of the Ghana Football Association. Then a month later, he was fired by Kwesi Nyantakyi. All of this before the announced expose. So he had always wanted to contest for the GFA position, even before the normalization. So he'd been doing a lot of work prior to number 12, the announced expose. And today he did talk about that. He mentioned all of the work that he's done, all the important people that he's met, and all the consultations that he's done. Yesterday was the last resort of his consultations, and he went to the chief imam's house yesterday to visit him, and that was the last of all of the consultations that he's done. And he's gone to Doma, he's gone to Kwamu, he's gone to see him, he's seen Jawala. He mentioned quite a list of very repeat. He said he's seen Otunfo as well. All of these part of his consultations to become GFA president.
Hold on a second there.
Blessings. When he says Otunfo, that's Kotoko. He needs that.
I know
When
that.
he says Domahene, that's Ejana. He needs that.
Blessing. Okay, so there's
But
that.
I'm aware that the others have also been there.
Yes, the
Exactly
others have
my-
also been there.
exactly
So I was
my
coming to that. Yes, the others have also been there. But I was talking about George here. So he talked about all of that, and then he concluded by saying that when you look at all the work he's done leading to today, he is confident he will win. Unfortunately, the most crucial question wasn't asked. which is, have you conclusively dealt with the court case you have outstanding today as a result of the indictments from the Jamefe Commission? Because one of the criteria you read
is that you must not be involved in any legal tussle.
So right now there are those who are doubling in, and he was surrounded by 2 lawyers, in fact, when he was delivering that speech. Ntofianko, very experienced football administrator, was former chairman of the Ghana Division 1 League. He's a lawyer. He was standing by him, and he had another lawyer from Ernest Thompson's firm as well. I've forgotten his name. And he said those were his legal brains behind him.
And let's not forget, he said that the third member of the legal team was absent, was out of the country.
Yes.
The third member being the legendary Tadiosor.
Tadiosor, exactly.
Yes,
Thank
so,
you.
yeah.
So those 3 very renowned lawyers are those backing him. So, and what I've picked up is that even if they may not necessarily get a ruling before the vetting, the fact that the case is still in court and he's fighting it might be good enough to get him past the vetting, because the fact that he's in court now and the court hasn't ruled on it means he's not guilty, kind of. But others have said, once the commission has indicted you and found you guilty, until a court proves otherwise, that's that original decision stands. So
No. I think for those who say that, they may not be fair to the issue, because if I'm found guilty and I've gone to the appeals court to prove my innocence,
and it hasn't been ruled on,
so
does
I'm
that
not
make
guilty,
the
because if I'm guilty, then I should be punished. Right?
But has the original decision been invalidated just because you've appealed?
No, but
Nope.
No, but that also does not mean that I should suffer for it.
Well, I don't think that.
For example,
hold on.
Let me just make it simple for Nimli. You've been sentenced to 5 years in prison. You've been thrown in jail. You're appealing. They don't release you while you appeal. You stay in prison.
No, but
Exactly.
that man there is...
No, but you see, the thing is that we are not.
Thank you.
Legal
So I'm just
people,
telling you
let's
where.
stay outside the
Yes,
parameters of that.
I'm just telling you the conversations I've picked up, because as far as George is concerned, that is the most crucial thing that stands between him
Not only him, everybody who supports him.
and everybody who supports him. Thank you. That's the most important thing in his cobweb now that he needs to deal with. Because once he's able to deal with that and get across the vetting onto the the polls, then of course he stands a chance of winning or whatever. He just needs to make it to the polls. And to do that, this court case could be the doing and the undoing, or the difference between him making it to the ballot paper and not making it. So that remains to be seen. Of course, we also saw Palmer. He was there yesterday to file his nomination yesterday. The fanfare.
You mean P for P?
P for
P
P.
for P. Thank
for
you.
P.
The
Palmer for president.
Thank you. That's his new Twitter account. They always tell us that the votes are not on social media or journalists don't vote. Then don't create a Twitter account.
No, but
If it's not important.
not created.
He's
or they've not
introducing
created
himself to the Ghanaian, to Ghanaians.
Why don't you pick phones and call the 120 people? Why are you creating a Twitter account? Tell her they want to always relegate everything to.
No, but the 120 people may also have Twitter accounts, and they want to read messages from their candidates, isn't it? Or from their preferred candidates.
I think it's to introduce their policies and their ideas to Ghanaians.
Yes.
Yeah. So Palmer filed yesterday as well, and Palmer has been grappling with the effects of that Muftar Nabila article from yesterday, which was a very good article, questioning the reported double standards of Palmer, where he originally questioned the appointment of Ashford Tete Oku as Premier League board chairman at the time that Brapia was leaving, because Palmer argued that he had previously dealt with Accra House of Folk and could not be trusted to remain partial in matters regarding Accra House of Folk. So at the time, he didn't support his appointment. Today, Palmer is president of Tema Youth, and he wants to be GFA president. He hasn't relinquished that role. So if you question partiality because of somebody's affiliations with the club they've dealt with in the past, a few years ago, if you questioned that a few years ago, what has changed? So that is something he needs to also deal with. And he's also got his issues, all right. Then there is Ket. Ket, obviously, is run Dreams FC excellently. He's branded them really well. And when he was put in charge of the FA Cup, he made it a much more attractive competition than the Ghana Premier League itself. Yeah. And all of that, he has to take some credit for that, if not all of the credit. For Dreams FC, all the credit will have to go to him. Quite a huge chunk of the credit will also have to go to him for the way he rebranded the FA Cup. However, Ket is also grappling with issues with regard to the circumstances that surrounded how his Dreams FC were demoted from the Ghana Premier League to Division 1. Because the demotion meant that he was guilty of whatever he was accused of.
Are you talking about episode La Daniel Goza?
Yes. So, in his case, was registering a player that was originally called Daniel Goza, changed his name to Kujo Mensah, and incidentally, Palmer was the one that found that.
It was that episode.
So listen, it's about to get dirty on these streets.
Look, the fact of the matter is this, on that issue.
Yeah, I'm not done yet.
Told.
Let's go.
Be told.
All of these things.
They did it intentionally. And nobody within the circles of
Let
dreams
me finish,
can say,
Chris, we don't know that
finish.
for a fact.
Hold on.
It's proven.
Let's continue.
What
finish.
is proving is that yes, Palmer took the case to the Court of Arbitration for Sport because initially he lost the case. And then he won the case, brought it back. The GFA then demoted Dreams FC, reinstated Tema Youth. This was what happened. But in terms of personalities who took responsibilities, who were punished, Ket was not, as an individual, indicted in the matter. Yes. The matter was laid at the doorsteps of Ibrahim Dose, who was the team manager of Dreams FC, and he was banned for 5 years.
But at the time...
So you can say that,
Chris. You see, we want the best.
So let him make it.
I'm just laying down.
I'm helping you.
I'm just laying
for Ghana football. And Ket, obviously, if you were to ask me, is one of the best brains out there to rule Ghana football. But I'll also be the first to admit that if a wrongdoing is done in your absence, and you get the opportunity to speak to the matter, and you go, Nkosiaga, and you are given.
Hold on. Are you saying that is what Ket has been saying with regards to that issue?
Of course. The people of this country listen to him several times.
But it's not inaccurate what he says, right? You're asking him to take ultimate responsibility.
I'm coming.
But there are individuals who were also guilty, who were punished.
If I am the bank roller of Citi FM, if I may use Citi as an example, and my employee does something wrong, and I'm given the opportunity to speak on the matter, I should condemn that.
In fact, let me simplify this for you. Let me simplify.
You come back and say.
Let me simplify this for you in how it goes. If Benjamin Nketiah is misbehaving on Sports Panorama,
of course,
Citi FM will be dragged to court.
That's it.
To answer. My directors will be dragged to court. Yeah. So there's no way Ket is isolated from this matter. Yeah. If he's Dreams FC chairman or CEO, true that a certain team manager might have been dealt with, but it is highly
under
possible.
His watch.
Good.
That's what you're saying.
In the case of an integrity test, he will be the one to have to answer to this.
Yeah, because simple. If those people play the tape, what was he looking at when he was making those statements? Nkosiaga. Later, 2-3 months later, we listened to him again, and he said, reiterated that, look, I am not going back on what I said on the matter. That Nkosiaga means Nkosiaga. Literally, maybe you may want to explain that.
It will come to nothing.
They've done nothing wrong. Those were his words. The tape is there.
Let's go on. Let's make progress.
So that is also on Ket. He also has his issues he needs to deal with. His competence, though, I really think can be questioned.
Nobody doubts.
He's
But
a
there's
brilliant.
there will always be that.
Yes, there will always be that, and he will
particular
always
episode.
be there.
Yes,
And whether his team likes it or not, people will always go back to this, and they need to find a way of dealing with it. And if he can also make it past vetting, and also get his name onto the ballot paper, then he also stands a chance. So getting past the integrity test is the crucial, because he also has to deal with this.
I think that for all the candidates, that will be, not for all, for most of them, let me rephrase, for most of them, that may be the toughest part of the process.
While we are on the subject, let me just read what the provisions of the integrity test say. Now it says 1. The integrity checks with regards to candidates for and holders of official positions within GFA that are subject to such checks shall be conducted by the relevant body in accordance with the provisions of these statutes and the present annex. Now, candidates subject to integrity checks are obliged to comply with the screening and self-disclosure process as outlined in Part 2 and Part 3 below. Prior to the screening process, every candidate shall give his written consent to said process based on a form provided by the relevant body conducting the integrity check. If such written consent is not provided, the integrity check shall be deemed as not passed. So what is essentially saying is that Mr. Afriyie, Okreku, Palmer, whatever, must agree to be subjected to an integrity test in written form. Let me go on. It says that an integrity check shall be deemed as not passed if the candidate concerned, A, has been subject to criminal conviction or disciplinary sanctions by a state court. In particular, if the underlying behavior was a substantive issue and not a minor infraction or procedural misbehavior. B, has been found guilty and or sentenced by the GFA, CAF or FIFA Ethics Committee, a commission of inquiry into sports arbitration, or any sporting body with a sanction that would seriously put into question the discharge of the office concerned. And 5, subject to the relevant provisions regarding disclosure and forwarding of the information and related data obtained in the context of integrity checks in accordance with the present annex, all such information and all related data must be treated as strictly confidential by the body conducting the integrity checks concerned.
And now, yes, Ben. And now, for the benefit of education, here is the integrity questionnaire.
Yeah,
It is here. Oh. The questionnaire is here, and I have it right in front of me. The questions you need to answer in order to pass or not pass the integrity check. So, it's a questionnaire. The questionnaire has your full name, surname, address of residence, date and place of birth, nationality, profession. Profession. Now, question 1 says, have you been previously convicted by a final decision of any intentional, indictable offense or of any offense corresponding to a violation of the rules of conduct set out in Part 2, Section 5 of the FIFA Code of Ethics? No or yes? You choose. Tick.
Simple yes or no.
Yeah. If yes, please specify. 2, has a sports governing body ever imposed any disciplinary or similar sanction or measure on you in the past for actions which amount to a violation of the rules of conduct set out in Part 2, Section 5 of the FIFA Code of Ethics? Yes or no? If yes, please specify. 3, are you the subject of any pending civil, criminal, or disciplinary proceedings or investigations? Now, this is where George comes in.
Of course.
All boys go fall inside.
Yes or no? Palmer is also in court. I'm going to tell you that.
Doing what?
Huh. Okay.
On what? No, but we are educated. He's in court.
So on what?
Yeah, it's a personal matter, not.
Okay, so
exactly. So, but he's in court.
Doing
okay,
what?
let's proceed.
Yes.
It could be divorced.
I know for sure it's divorce.
This could be divorce.
But it could be anything.
So court on what?
Namely, let me finish my questionnaire.
It's not much.
Please go ahead.
Divorce.
If yes,
I don't think the FA elections has anything wrong. The elections have
been
anything wrong
divorced,
with the divorce.
no.
I don't think so.
If yes, please specify. 4 says, so 4 reads, I am fully aware that I am subject to the provisions of the Disciplinary and Ethics Code of the GFA and to the provisions of the statutes and other regulations of GFA that may address integrity issues, and I fully comply with such provisions. 5, I currently hold the following positions in football. Then you state. 6, the following facts and circumstances may give rise to potential conflicts of interest regarding me, of in particular Article 23, paragraph 7 of this statute. So if you have anything that may potentially be of conflict of interest, you should state it right there. That's what they're asking for. So for example, Palmer being president of
No football person can stand.
So
that.
and also
That surely cannot hold.
no,
No,
but no,
football
they didn't say. They
No,
didn't
of
say.
course.
They didn't say. They didn't say you shouldn't. They said if you do
You have to
state.
state. That's what they
So you state it, then they will deem the severity or a lack of it,
I think there will be a lot of
Discretion, yeah.
animosity
Yes.
when it comes to this.
and a lot of
A
discretion.
lot of discretion will eventually come.
And then so 7 says remarks and observations which may be of potential relevance in the context of the integrity check. So anything not covered in the questions, the questionnaire, you need to state it. And then 8 says, I am fully aware and agree that this questionnaire is made available to the members of the appropriate body of the GFA. 9, I'm fully aware and confirm that I must notify the body conducting the integrity check of any relevant facts and circumstances arising after the integrity check has been completed. And then 10, I am fully aware and confirm that I am obliged to collaborate fully to establish the relevant facts with regard to the integrity check I am subject to. In particular, I will comply with requests for any documents, information, or any other material of any nature held by me. In addition, I will comply with the procurement and provisions of document, information, or any other material of any nature not held by me, but which I am entitled to obtain. You get that part? Yeah. And then here's the final one. It says, I'm fully aware and confirm that the body conducting the integrity check may also request information on possible sanctions. That is questions 1 and 2 above, directly from FIFA or the relevant confederation, as well as from other institutions, such as the Court of Arbitration for Sport and relevant in Lausanne, Switzerland, or the International Olympic Committee. In this regard, I hereby release the relevant institutions from any obligation of confidentiality relating to the information concerned. I am fully aware and confirm that the body conducting the integrity check may collect further information on me in accordance with paragraph 2 or of the present annex. Then you have place and date and then signature. So
The conversation is getting a little too tight with all this legal reading. But I just want to say this. You didn't mention lawyer Ankoma, George Ankoma Mensah. Apparently, well, what I have here is Ankoma Mensah. Says he's affiliated
to OKFC of Odoko.
Odoko Kwashiman United.
So that's OKFC.
56-year-old legal practitioner.
But how come I don't know this?
That's it.
Odoko Kwashiman. I should know this thing.
You should have been coaching or TMing for the team by now.
I'll find out more about
There's
it.
30 years of legal experience under his belt. Says that he's a strong advocate for Colts football and women's football. Lawyer
I know him.
Ankoma Mensah. Coach,
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do, because
where is he coming from? And how does
when I say I know, I don't know him that well.
I
but I'm aware.
mean, how come he thinks that he stands a chance, and why has he tossed in like his heart into this particular race?
To be honest with you, I don't know what he's actually looked at. I don't know the parameters with which he's actually looked at himself and looked at the voting people, those who cast their vote. I don't know the extent to which he has gone. He's spoken to them. He's campaigned to get them to believe that, look, he's the right man for the job. Because for him to have come this far, dish out a 5,000 Ghana cedi to file his nomination, it means he must be confident that, look, he stands a chance of winning this. This is an election. And I'm one of those people who believe sincerely that you have to fear delegates.
Fear delegates and live long.
And live long. For all you know, he could be that dark horse. But of course, if I'm going to vote, I will not vote for him. Why? Because I think there are other better people who could do the job. But why not? He needs to give it a try. He's decided to give it a try. So some of these things, or some of these decisions primarily are not taken with the intention that, look, I'm going to win. But you
He's trying to sort of announce his presence.
After all, it's just 4 years. Okay, 4 years from now.
I mean, and it's
God
like,
willing, if we are alive.
And like we are discussing now, it goes into history.
Yeah,
we discussed lawyer Nkoma as part
was
of the
part of those who contested
Exactly.
the election. So he will be the best person to explain why he thinks he's the best man for the job.
Let's bring this conclusion to a close now. We know that elections are slated for October 25th. We know that in between then we will have the integrity checks. Daniel, personally, what are, say, the three factors? I wouldn't say factors or values, but maybe not even three. What are the qualities you are looking for in the next FA president? Have you seen those qualities in the men that are picking up nomination forms to fill
Men
that?
and woman.
Men and woman. Apologies.
So you don't mention Papseo.
Me, I mentioned Fred Papo in
Yeah,
the
he mentioned
opening.
it.
I mean, I didn't. You just didn't touch on Fred Papo because you like the motorbike antics, so you didn't touch on Fred Papo. But
Laggards.
But I mean, talking about that, I just got a tweet. I got a tweet a few minutes ago from our colleague Sheikh Tofik.
yeah,
And he says that his reporter,
Yeah.
it wasn't just shenanigans or anything. His reporter can confirm.
Can substantiate.
And he's backing his reporter
were-
that some of the bikers who came to the place were land guards. Listen.
Yeah, here's the tweet.
Uh-huh.
At Nathan Kwa, he tweeted
Yes, so he
at
tweets
Nathan.
at me and then he says,
My reporter,
yes, my reporter just didn't file the story and tag bikers of George Afriyie as land guards. I can confirm that some of the bikers were land guards.
Sheikh Tofik has done commit.
Wow.
George Afriyie's
the land
These are-
guys to Georgia Field.
but Ben, quick one on the tweet. I don't think it is necessary for Sheikh.
No, he's clearing the air. Maybe no, Christopher. Listen, one thing about journalism is that when your reputation is in doubt, you need to set the record straight.
But even he's not saying he's in his report.
Exactly.
But
No,
he
but
has
he has to
confirmed.
take. Like I'm saying, there's always there's always
he will
oversight.
take- he
There's
will
always
take-
there's
he's
always
senior.
oversight responsibility.
But-
Of course, like we say, when the lawsuit comes, it will go to Sheikh Tofik and his bosses, not his reporter.
No, you
So
see-
he has to take responsibility.
You see, at the end of the day, maybe I may not go there, but some of us know where Sheikh is coming from.
Let's not
We
go
don't
there.
want. No, I'm coming. I'm coming. We don't want to prolong this, so I will
Yeah.
end it here. But
Yeah.
I am saying to him, he's listening to the show.
Yeah.
It was completely unnecessary.
Daniel, wrap this conversation up.
Okay, guys, look, I feel what we need to understand first of all is that this election is not just another regular GFA election. We are not just going to the polls, or delegates are not just going to the polls to elect another president. This is major. We all know what happened, and we have to avoid that mistake. We have to avoid bringing in somebody who, for lack of a better expression, who is another Nyantichi.
Where we is the delegates.
Yes. Look, for over a year in June, over a year, we've not had a president. FA has been all over the
No
place.
president, no
completely-
vice president.
No vice president, completely non-existent. And we have to make sure that this is a correct step or a right step towards something good, towards something more sustainable. We cannot just make this. As I said, this is not just another regular GFA Congress where we go and we elect a president and we come in and yes, this is our GFA president, this is our vice. This is very, very important. This is probably the most important moment in Ghana football history. So we need to get it right. And I'm looking at the 7 individuals, and I'll not lie to you. Look, most of them, I can say 80% of them, still have things lingering around them, which just makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'll tell you, the thing I'm looking forward first, or I'm looking at first, is integrity. Somebody who is clean, somebody who is pure, somebody who can come in.
As the British will say, whiter than white.
Exactly. Somebody we can trust. And all these guys have...
Nana Amponsa says he's the whiter than white guy. Football beyond corruption.
Look, you look at all these guys coming up. Look, let's not take nothing away.
Will you care to drop in a few names?
No, I'm not going to do that. They are fantastic football brains. These are guys who, on paper and practically, if they put their heads to work, we know Ghana football can move forward and move into the right direction. But the lack of integrity will always stain all these things. And once there's a lack of integrity and it lingers around, you can never really trust. A man of integrity is always the man that the people would entrust their lives with, their livelihoods. And football in Ghana, look, we've all seen, it's been pathetic in the last year. Even as journalists, work has been so difficult. There are sometimes you can go weeks and to get voices or videos or interviews, like there's nothing going on. You have to sort of create your own stories, and the stories juice no day inside.
Of course.
So now for you, the GFA race is about your story.
Oh yeah, we are journalists, so it's always about the story.
It's the return of football.
Yeah.
When football comes
As
back,
journalists, it's always about the
You get
story.
voices overdose. Now you have to rely on killer voices.
And when you say killer voices, Osman, those who understand. A big shout outs to Rahman Osman. Charlie,
Shout to Rahman Osman.
if you didn't hear it again,
I'm sure he's listening to the show.
Daniel says, because of the lack of football in our country,
don't have to rely.
we have resorted to using killer voices. when on the sports desk, we say killer voices. Like, if I tell Nathan, Charlie, I'll leave you some killer voices. he understands. He understands the language. But like I'm saying,
Oh, you're happy everywhere.
big shout outs to Rahman Osman. Charlie, we a guy. Daniel, finish with us.
Inside joke, we apologize.
So after the integrity, which is for me is the most important, it takes about 50% of what I'm looking for. Then I need somebody who is interested in football, not just football, but coach football and bringing league football.
I mean,
back
somebody
to
who
what
is
it
not
used to be.
interested in not just the
Black,
Black
we
Stars.
don't want the Black Stars president. That's what
Look,
you're saying.
frankly speaking, if you go to every football fan in this country and you ask, we don't care about the Black Stars again. And let's be honest, when league football and coach football is working at its peak, it will have an automatic reaction into the Black Stars. It will work. I'm telling you, if our league is strong and our coach football is strong and we are getting an ending, players are being pumped into the league teams and we have there's quality, there's proper facilities. Look, it will by all means relate into the Black Stars. It is something that is there. So you can't focus on the top and the foundation will be weak. We have to fix our foundation. And I just want us to return somebody who has the vision and is very concerned about returning Ghana football. When I say Ghana football, I'm talking about the local leagues, the Premier League, the Division 1, back to what it used to be when I was growing up. When on Wednesday, Hearts of Oak is going to face King Faisal, and I can already feel the vibe. On Saturday evening, my heart is beating. I'm shaking. On Sunday, when I'm going to church, look, I can see King Faisal flags, Hearts of Oak flags on taxis, on commercial vehicles, on private vehicles.
Those were the days.
That was football.
Those were the days.
Those days at 5 p.m. when the results are being read, and later at 5:30 when you are listening to BBC and you hear that, I've forgotten his name. They say he's dead.
He's passed now.
He's passed now. That man mentioning Manchester United. I didn't even know who Manchester United was, and frankly speaking, I didn't.
You
care.
didn't care. That's the truth.
We have to return to those days. We
When
have
Daniel
to.
says those days, he means 2006.
Listen,
No, seriously.
This is
I was going to jab him.
this is personal
I was
harassment.
going to jab him. I was going to jab him, but I'll let him.
Daniel, move it on.
No.
Indeed.
No.
Inde,
Let bygones be
Inde,
bygones.
Inde,
Let bygones
behave.
be bygones.
Let me just.
When there is an insia awaiting you, have to behave. Oh.
Let me just.
Inde.
At least
Daniel finished.
in 2006, I had a TV set. You came to Accra in 2010.
It's okay.
All you knew before that was through newspapers.
It's fine. It's okay. Let's move
And
on.
word of mouth.
You didn't have to go there.
You didn't have to. Let's get on.
But look, it's very important, and we have to take it seriously. And all those look, I'm just praying that the integrity test is as tough as they are making us seem it is, and it will fish out all the people who do not intend good for Ghana football, because basically we cannot make the same mistakes again.
Ben.
Well, Coach,
Yes, a
you
comment.
you
Yeah.
get the final word on this.
Yeah, I think if you look at the gentleman, everybody who is filing his nominations, I think Ghana football can choose one of them to be a very, very good president. For me, like Rantin rightly said, I will campaign, I will speak for, I will use my own resources, my energy, my brains, everything of mine to campaign for that person who shows me the best manifesto that addresses juvenile football in this country. To me, that is what I'll be looking for. Okay? We'll vote at the regional level. And I'm very certain that all these guys, the Kate, the Palmer, the George Afriyie, don't forget, the voting pattern is from what? The regional level to the national level. So they'll have interest in those who will be winning those positions. That is where some of us can boldly say we've got our influence. But like we've all agreed here. If they were to go through that integrity test successfully, for me, I think for now, if George is able to go through that test, if Palmer is able to go through that test, if Ket is able to go through that test, Fred Papo goes through that test, if all of them goes through that test, I believe that it's a two-horse race between George and Palmer. If these two men were to go through that test, I believe it's a two-horse race with the integrity test, of course. If they were to be
Make it onto the ballot box.
make it onto the ballot paper. I see George and Palmer being the two candidates who will go neck and neck with Ketu Kreku. If Ket can play his cards well, usually
I think
when
he
you
will,
are
I
the
think he
third
will
force-
decide the election.
Yes, of course.
He's going to be the kingmaker.
Yep.
He's going to be the kingmaker at
what
the end
you are
of the
saying.
day. Yes, of
What
course.
about the king himself?
Who is that?
Ket. You don't think he can
No,
be
I
the
don't.
king himself?
No. I don't think. Look, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying he stands a chance as a dark force or as
Dark horse,
somebody
yeah.
that if the two leading candidates don't play their cards well, he could just come from nowhere and nick it. We've seen it happen time and time and again. So for me, I believe that if George Afriyie, if Palmer, these two gentlemen are able to get onto the ballot paper and Ket joins them on that ballot paper, it's going to be a two-horse race, but don't rule Ket out. He
Yeah.
could be the surprise package if the two men
Ben,
don't
before
play
the
their cards
election,
well.
we will do a whole show
Yes.
on the dynamics
And the dynamics,
of
what
the
decides
election,
the election.
constituencies of the election,
Yes.
because that is a whole topic that we can discuss on a whole show on who has what. Because trust me, the dynamics are ever changing. Just a few weeks ago, Palmer was in some very good lead. It's not like that anymore, and that will change again in the next few weeks. So you be on the watch out. But I think I'm most excited about the executive council and the people who are looking to contest,
man.
because we need.
Good brains.
Because trust me, the executive committee of the GFA
They will
was
decide.
one of the biggest reasons we got to where we were.
You have the Gruza voice there?
They created, in quotes, the monster in Kwesi Nyantakyi, and we need people with diverse views. Randy Abbey, Frederick Champon,
Lawyer is it a year?
is there. Sometime Otua Champon.
If I have to vote for somebody on that executive committee, I vote Lawyer all day.
And that's it as far as the candidates for presidency of the next GFA president is concerned. Show proudly brought to us by Betway and the Betway Money Back Boost. is back. Now, it lets you back more of your favorite teams by giving you up to 20 times your bets back if you're unlucky. Now, visit betway.com.gh and create a multi-bet that has 6 or more selections. If one of your selections lets you down, we'll refund up to 20 times the value of your bet. This is a juicy offer, pal. The more selections you add, the more you get back. Bet your way with Betway today. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, for the love of the game. And our good friends at DSTV are also proud sponsors of Sports Panorama. Now this September, they say DSTV Day for you. Join us every week as we follow the exploits of our Ghanaian boys in the soccer leagues as they make us proud. The likes of Kevin Prince Boateng, Wakaso and Partey. Buy a DSTV Zapper for 199 Ghana cedis, and you will also get 2 months access subscription valid for a limited time only. Call 0302 740 540, 0302 740 540, and let September count with DSTV and feel every moment. Let's take a quick break here on Sports Panorama. When we come back, we'll get into local Black Stars and also the English Premier League.
Accra.
They are on the attack. PK passes it to Hazard, who's making a run to the center. The through ball to Ronaldo, who dummies it to Bale, just outside the box. He offloads to Salah, who strikes. It's a goal!
Watch every step over, dribble, tackle, and pass from your favorite superstars. Always in HD, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Only on SuperSport on DSTV, where it's always football time.
The Betway Money Bag Boost lets you back more of your favorite team.
Citi TV is live. Citi TV is a free-to-air digital channel. On a digital TV, please press menu on your remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a multi-TV digibox. Tune into Citi TV and experience your world. Citi TV, it's your world.
My name is Nathan Kwa. Welcome to another season of the Premier League preview show, live and exclusive to Citi TV.
It's a new and exciting season of the Premier League with the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. Get the best opinions, build-up, and team news ahead of each match week in the season to help you stay in the loop. Is Fantasy League your thing? No worries. Get all the tips and hacks from our in-house experts and put the competition to sleep.
Well, the truth is that no team, and I repeat, no team on this planet going through a league season has a 100% foolproof campaign where you are blowing everybody apart. There will be that one game or two where you will be tested.
Already happening. Meanwhile, observers are worried that we haven't talked about Amanda Clinton. Please, Amanda Clinton's campaign team say that she stands every bit a chance as much as all these guys we've mentioned. So it is it is unfair that we have talked about Kurt and Co extensively, and we have decided to sideline Madam Clinton. Madam Clinton, please, we acknowledge your presence. We acknowledge all that you've done, and we acknowledge that you are perhaps in with a strong chance.
I mean, like we say, it will come down to the delegates. So between now and when they vote, we should go through everything, and she passes all the tests and all that.
Yeah.
We wish her the very best with the campaign. She will have to convince, just like every other candidate. It's not a done deal for anybody. So I think Amanda Clinton has a very, very good chance. So she has to go in there, give it a strong push, and then just hope that things will play, because elections can be tricky. But I think that if she does her work well and puts together a manifesto that will resonate.
Look, I think
why not?
I think that regardless of even how it goes down, the fact that her name is in the hat now, as far as the footballing circles is concerned, is monumental for her. So let's get on with the conversation, Coach.
Yeah.
Liverpool visit Chelsea at the Bridge. Chelsea lost in midweek in the Champions League. Liverpool lost in midweek in the Champions League.
You see, this is one of those games that you really want to have at your doorstep. You can't wait. To be honest with you, I just can't wait for Sunday.
Why can't you?
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful game because you have a repeat of what we saw in that Super Cup.
Yeah.
That Super Cup to me was a great game by our standard. I hear Chelsea have N'Golo Kante back.
Yeah.
Is he back? It's confirmed that he will
He's
play.
physically fit. Lampard says he's not sure
Lacks
if he's
match
match
fitness.
fit.
If Lampard decides not to start N'Golo Kante, Chelsea will lose the game and lose big time. That is my sincere opinion about the matter. Because Sadio Mane is angry. Mohamed Salah is mad.
Why
You
Sadio
make
Mane
them angry.
Let me make my point. Tammy Abraham
Same
is
point you
equally
made last
angry.
week.
Tammy Abraham is equally angry.
The same point you made last week.
more. Tammy Abraham is equally angry.
Do you remember
From
what
that-
you said last week?
No more.
You're possessed by the Holy Spirit.
No more.
Friends,
You see,
let's-
Espirito
let's-
could not descend.
Let's
It was my fault. Espirito, he could not descend. But I'm talking about
Mo
Mohamed.
Salah.
the Mohammed in today's football and the Abraham in today's football. If the two men are very angry, who wins the battle? That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a beautiful game. Tactically, look, I listened to Lampard speak today, and he was so much in love with the way Jurgen Klopp has gone about his business over these few years.
Same way Jurgen was
Jurgen
impressed with Lampard.
Of course, he's been there for a very short while. He's done some decent job, but you cannot compare him to the more achieved Jurgen Klopp.
Champions League winning Jurgen Klopp.
You want to equate Lampard to that man? It doesn't work like that. But it doesn't mean Lampard on the day cannot map up a strategy to get Chelsea to win the game. It's going to be a very, very delicious game for all to watch. But I think that, again, the absence of N'Golo, because anytime Chelsea plays Liverpool, of course, the front three of Liverpool is deadly. By far, they are the best team in the land as we speak. They are yet to lose a game. That to me could be Chelsea's motivation, because they'll make all the news out there if they were to be the first team to go ahead and beat Liverpool. That can only motivate Tammy Abraham. It can only motivate Jorginho. It can only motivate the good old Azpilicueta. But at the good old Azpilicueta. But at the end of the day, your quality will have to come to the fore. Your fitness, your awareness, your better anticipation of issues will have to come to the fore. And if you look at the two teams defensively, one looks stronger than the other, and that's Liverpool. Chelsea have proven over this season that they cannot win games 1-0. Will Liverpool not score on the day? I mean, the betting people are out there. They are listening to this program. I know if I'm going to bet on Sunday, I'll bet that Liverpool will definitely score. So Chelsea will have to score 3 or 4 to win the game. And does this Liverpool back four looks like a team that will concede 3 or 4 against this Chelsea team? No, I beg to differ. So at the end of the day, if Chelsea really do want to win this, they need to be very, very mean at the back. They need to be solid at the back. And that, to me, starts with N'Golo Kante. So once the young man is not match fit and Lampard is still contemplating whether to get him in the 4 or not, it means he's virtually throwing it, because a Jorginho will not win the ball.
And don't forget that both teams have played Champions League football in midweek, so there's some fatigue.
There's some fatigue in there. And we all know about the fitness of a Jurgen Klopp team. I think they have the better quality in depth. Okay? So on the day, it's about what approach will Lampard bring. But I believe that every approach is better suited when there's N'Golo Kante on the page. Because what he does the job of 2 players.
N'Golo Kante or your players.
No, manually.
Or
2 players. No.
Nice.
So if he can't be poor.
Yeah.
You see, Kantes.
Like one Bisakis.
1 Bisakis.
2 Bisakis.
Like Maguires.
3 Bisakis.
So I tell you about that. I told you after United. After United, after they beat Chelsea, I saw a tweet. I don't know who tweeted that, but whoever you are and wherever you are, he said, "Hey, the one Bissaka saved this. Like if we sign 2 Bissakas, they're like I do the league." When I read that tweet, it had me rolling.
2 Bissakas.
They said the one Bissaka saved. One saved this. Then we get 2.
I can finish. So Ben, look, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. Chelsea should be highly motivated to put an end to Liverpool unbeaten run. For me, if I'm the one coaching them, that is going to be one of my weapon. Look, guys, everybody, we've all tasted defeat in this league. They seem to be the only team not to have been beaten. So go and stop. And what a way to stop it! But of late, no more Dana Kumo Bridge. You understand?
You have arrived there.
No, but they've not won at the bridge this season. Have they in the league? So it's even in midweek, the place is already just broken on Akumo Bridge.
You mean the foundations have been shaking?
So you have to reinstate.
Now that we think about it, that's it. The whole season in all competitions,
Chelsea
no
have
win
won
at
a-
Stamford.
Yes. So it's a worry.
That is actually serious.
That is serious. It's a worry. If you're a Chelsea fan, you should be worried because if Mo Salah is coming in there,
And the fact that 11 of Chelsea's goals scored this season have all been scored by either Abraham, Mount, or the youngster.
and Mason Mount
He's also a doubt in this game.
I
I think they'll do everything possible to make
him.
him.
Have to play. So look, if I have my money to bet, surely, I'll go.
Both teams to score.
Both teams to score. The one to outscore. The red to outscore the Blues.
Are we looking at a Nini?
Oh no more, because they will score. They will spoil the permutations. But anything, Ayoko -1.
Let's move.
Ben, really, I know the Bible.
Charlie, you want to talk about Liverpool?
Last
and Chelsea
week,
too?
last week, the things Nimli said here.
He said Espirito didn't descend.
Then he said,
Yes, you didn't see. Why did you play it back?
The spirit.
He said
From
Espirito. He says Espirito
You see,
didn't descend.
Nathan was the one who
Interpreted.
Yeah,
what's the
the
name
name
of Espirito?
Espirito Santo is Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
The Holy
Yeah.
Spirit didn't descend.
What did you say
Can
was
you
going
blame
to
me?
happen?
No, but can you blame me if the spirit fails to descend?
You said you were setting it
I've
would
assumed-
descend.
I was certain, but it
Yes,
didn't. Can you
yes.
blame me for that?
It's your fault.
he also
Where
said
did you get
he
the
was
vim from?
possessed and did
Yeah, he also did like he had already descended.
This
So
is
that-
what you do. Then I'll call Van Dijk. That they should not even make you score one. Then look, prepare the bobo for me.
Sean will definitely be out here for us to play, but
That's not fair. No, imagine like
Yeah.
Chelsea wins like 3-0 or something.
it won't happen. You can put anything you want. It won't happen.
We can squeeze it. Chelsea can squeeze it 3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
How do you squeeze it?
How do you
squeeze it? 3-1. Exactly my point. Hold on.
Aspilicueta is at right back, facing Sadio Mane.
What if
Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan.
get ready to welcome back the 4-3-3. Compact Chelsea. High pressing.
Nathan.
High intensity. High energy.
Inde. Nathan, talk to us about West Ham versus Manchester United. West Ham versus Manchester United.
Sebastian Haller will be there. I think that United I think they are walking into a very, very difficult game. You look at in the last few years, if there's a ground that United haven't done too well at, it's the London Stadium. Last season they lost that game by 3-1. That was the game that now has the infamous Christopher Nimley picture on Twitter.
No, but that picture.
It was that game, remember?
You see, and since that day,
I love that.
Tahiru, at the least opportunity,
He has taken it upon
just
himself.
retweet. I don't know why he does that.
No, but Christopher, it's a lovely picture though. It's a picture that speaks. It's a picture that speaks 1,000 words.
Have you not spoken before?
So this is a reenactment of the picture. No, give me the pose again.
And those listening,
Have you ever seen a human being not to have popo before?
So that was your popo moment.
Popo.
No, that's what I say. See, that was when, that's what I call the cold shiver.
No, I popo. That day I popoed. The picture speaks volumes for itself. I popoed because there was a certain smiling that day.
Yeah, it was smiling. Yeah.
Me.
And you know, the fact that he popoed on that day, and we have evidence of the popoing. Every time we imagine him popoing, we put the picture there.
Yeah, that's what you. For me, don't. But you have my boboli bobo dance too. You have.
I have the video.
Why haven't you been putting that one there?
Because you've not had a lot to boboli bobo about this.
When they score in Sia, I boboli boboed. When we gave you 4, I also boboli boboed. So what are you doing? You should be posting that one.
Don't mind this young man. Nathan,
like I was saying,
talk to me about West Ham versus Man United.
It will be a very difficult game for Manchester United. They still don't have Pogba back. They still don't have Martial back. It doesn't look like Shaw will play. So Solskjaer will have to again mix and match his back 4. Now, if anything is to be taken from last night's game in the Europa League, I don't know, but I think that of all the options Solskjaer has, the one that can do a little decent job at left back is probably Marcus Rojo.
That's true.
Of all the players he has at left back,
does he still exist?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
of all the players he has,
Marcus Rojo.
He had a very good
of
game.
all the players he has at left back, if there's anybody that can give him something decent, it is Marcus Rojo.
Surely not Ashley Young. Surely not Ashley.
So but look, United will be up against it. West Ham will look at this game and say that this is a game where they get to dominate the headline, they get to get 3 points, they get to enjoy themselves, and they will feel confident. They will feel as though that they can't go in there and harm Manchester United. The bit about West Ham that I don't get sometimes is like the tendency to play and overplay and not keeping it simple. And I've noticed that a lot this season. They are opening teams up, and instead of taking a final pass to liberate Allaire or get Lanzini in a good position or get Felipe Anderson in a good position, they are overpassing it in midfield. To what end?
Typical Manuel Pellegrini.
So I just think that they will have to be extremely pumped up for that game on Sunday and try to see what they can get out of Manchester United. For United, though, I really think that they will just have to go and give it a good try. They will just have to try hard. They just have to push themselves and take solace from the last 2 games they've played. They've won those games by a singular goal. And if they can push themselves to try and survive, they will be fine. I think that all of these are... I look at the last 2 performances at home to Leicester, which was dodgy, and then the one against Astana, which I think was an improvement, general improvement, really. But they will have to work hard. It is a tough tie for Man United, and I think West Ham will look at this tie and think that they have every right to try and win it on Sunday.
Let me read a few messages that have been coming through. We've completely ignored the message box today, but let me get through as many messages as I can, and then we'll talk through a few more of the Premier League games and then touch on the Champions League before we go. Kenneth Jemfi inside Botiano says, I heard Nathan interpreting French to English today. I was like, wow, Nathan, you're a genius. Keep it up. Nana from...
He was interpreting patapa kind of songs from French.
Charlie, there used to be a song by... No, listen, if you were interpreting songs, there used to be a song called Yokogari Jollof back in the day. Please.
That song is in Baule. It's not in French, it's in Baule.
What's the title of the song again?
I know the song.
But he interpreted
Baule
today.
I want him to...
But Premier Gao, I've told you, Premier Gao...
Freddie
Milwaukee.
Premier Gao... But that song is not in French. What I can tell you that Lolo, they are talking about that's how it is.
Miss Lolo. That song. That song is nice though. It's nice. I like it. But let's go on. This one here is Nana from Kokomlemle says that good evening to the best sports crew in GH. After the events in the Champions League, I'm convinced that Twitter low-key was made for Ghanaians and Nigerians. What? The Van Dijk and Ross Barkley trolling was serious. Bleubi Donti from Castland says, Team Sports Panorama, God bless you always for making my Friday night special. Charlie, even in Doomso, but you still listening to you guys. Please tell friends they feel his laughter a perfect match for the last guy. Numo Nimli and Sugar Boss guy agree to. Black Ronaldo inside Democracy from Koforidia says, I tell you, Chelsea will concede in every game this season. This one is from Dabegu Yanga inside Adabraka. Says, I say this with a quiver and a shiver. Brrr, I think you are channeling the spirits of. Namely, they said he's not cut for the challenge. They said championship is different. It's a different atmosphere. When he disgraced them and did 4-4, they said he's only scored against teams from the championship. Now he scored against the team not from the championship. Please tell Coach Nimley and the detractors that God of Moses, the God of Solo, the God of Isaac, the God of Tammy Abraham has watched them, and I'm happy that they have eaten the humble pie with Sobolo. Elsit from East Legon says the bridge needs renovation before tomorrow. Kofi from Ekropon says that coach, you have really made my evening. More messages to come through. See if we can read a couple more of them before we go. Friends, if you have any tweets, we should touch on those before we get to the full fixture of Premier League
matches. Quite a lot. We've retweeted a number of them. So the Twitter guys, Twitter family, thank you. Hashtag Sports Panorama. Lots of them. And you see, and sometimes these guys who tweets the show on Twitter, I think they are the real superheroes. Yes. You know, these guys keep the show going, and so
one of these days, we should just do a show where we let people call in and maybe ask questions or do.
That would be nice, actually.
You know, I'm seeing lots of them. Afia Dra, Gan Teacher, the West Ham United guy, Lil Moldu. Abraham Kojo, lots of them, Stephen Nasibuedi. I see all the tweets. Ohineba Kisi, Jude Murray. I see all the tweets. And for all of you who are on Twitter listening to the show and you don't tweet at the show, what are you waiting for? Please tweet the show with the hashtag Sports Panorama. If you have the Nimli picture, tweet it for Shege reasons.
See what you've done.
Somebody has said it.
No, but Christopher, listen. I've seen pictures and I've seen pictures.
Print that picture.
That picture is legendary.
I'll hang it in my sitting room.
Legendary.
And my beautiful girls will ask me, Daddy, what were it out?
That picture is legendary, I tell you. Legendary stuff. Let me just go through the full complement of matches and then we'll talk a little bit Champions League. We'll touch on some of the DSTV games that will be played this weekend before we take this show home. So currently the game between AFC Bournemouth and Southampton is locked at 2-1. AFC Bournemouth are leading. Tomorrow we begin with Leicester versus Tottenham. There's Burnley versus Norwich. There's Everton versus Sheffield United. Manchester City versus Watford. Newcastle versus Brighton. And then on Sunday we have Crystal Palace versus Wolves. West Ham versus Man United. Arsenal versus Aston Villa. And then there's Chelsea versus Liverpool. Nathan, just touch on the DSTV related games for us if you can while we sort out the Champions League. Really interesting results coming through from the Champions League. The one I want to talk about the most, guys, is the Real Madrid versus PSG.
Nana. Thibaut Courtois. Did you see Courtois? Did you see Hazard?
Guys, let me.
Did you see Hazard?
What did Courtois do?
Courtois. He considered 3 goals.
But that's what happened.
This guy, you have a personal agenda against Courtois.
I don't.
You do.
Which of the goals did?
No,
but which of the goals?
Hold on, numbers.
But he's considered more goals than the games he's played.
No, but
how is that even permitted?
Coach, how is a team that doesn't have? How is it that a team that doesn't have Neymar, Cavani, Mbappe is beating a Real Madrid? Maybe
PSG are better off without those three.
Currently,
40 matches, 56 games conceded.
56 goals.
As we speak, Idrissa Gana Gueye is better than Toni Kroos.
Oh, coach! I need to buy you a gift when we leave the studio.
What?
I need to buy you a gift. Please say it again for me.
Gana Gueye is better than Toni Kroos.
Somebody who sees the truth finally.
And Zidane sat there and slept on the job. Because I didn't get it. Everything from Toni Kroos was either made square or went back.
Toni Kroos.
And you remember he lost the ball on the second goal.
It is the gods of football that are finally exposing Toni Kroos.
Because look, this Real Madrid team.
I can have a whole 30-minute segment on Toni Kroos. Don't provoke me.
You have a personal agenda.
No, the fact of the matter, he's finished. Because he's not that type of midfielder who will win balls.
Midfield finished. It's not just him. It's not just him. But guys, look, on the night.
His is too serious.
Chris, on the night, I think that Real Madrid had major problems. Look, when Real Madrid, the attack and midfield, when they pushed up, The defense stayed.
Look at the
so
gap.
there was a gap. That was
That is coaching.
There is
The coach
no.
sat
There
there.
is. See, let's.
He should
you
be telling them
You can give.
to push
You
up.
can give all the excuses you want.
No.
Real Madrid went to play PSG and didn't play a single shot on target.
Ben,
Look,
that's perfectly understandable. I'm only
For
telling
90
you,
minutes.
Ben, the explanation I just gave was the reason why Real Madrid broke down.
The engine of Real Madrid he's the fuse of the engine, and he was owned.
Incompetent coaching by Zidane.
Let me tell you something. That was made to happen because, let me say, they had a completely new back four. So the guys at the back were virtually afraid to close the gap in anticipation that they will be what? Caught unaware and exposed. Look at Di Maria. Look at Verratti. We took Chung, what is the name of that Man United boy?
Who is this?
Tahith
Herrera, the man with the
Tahith
fruit.
Chong.
Tahith Chong.
And they dealt with this Verratti and people. Then you
Did
took
you see Tahith Chong
Casemiro.
yesterday?
Very
Tahith
awful.
Chong didn't play well at all.
Thank you.
Casemiro, Tony Cruz, and I think he took the best of them out.
Coach, you know why I like you today.
Because
Let me tell you why the point you're making is lovely. As football fans, we have this habit of placing players on a certain pedestal. Certain players have occupied a certain room in our minds that we can never take them off, regardless of how bad they have become over time.
Yeah, like Daniel
And
Craig.
certain teams. And certain look, let's stop looking at this thing like an isolated situation. Real Madrid is dead.
But they are dead.
Real Madrid
That
is
is the
dead.
fact.
It's not Wednesday or Tuesday night. The team is dead. They have no midfielder in the team.
It's true.
And the biggest mistake that the world did was to give that Ballon d'Or to Modric. And deceive
Everybody with
people.
their personal
It's true.
agenda. Oh,
No, it's true.
Daniel would.
It's true.
Modric, Benjamin against Cruz.
Tony Cruz has been bad for the last 2 years, but nobody has seen it.
That midfield is
For
dead.
me, the standout incident from that match was when they were about to take the group photo.
Yep.
And Varane handed the flag.
Ramos handed the penalty to Gareth Bale. He looked at Ramos, closed a couple of seconds, like, why are you giving this to me?
Then he
And
takes
then,
it.
the moment Ramos is out of sight,
He hands it to.
passes it to Isco, who doesn't also want to receive it. That I think that particular sequence
man.
alone just describes where Real Madrid are as a team.
But do you know who you should be blaming for that? It's the manager.
Zizou.
Yeah, he's the one who caused all this mess.
It's not Zidane. It's not Zidane.
No,
it's
but-
that president.
Forget about
See,
it.
Daniel,
Somebody said
President.
it.
It's not Zidane.
Again,
Look,
again,
what
That
came
came
over
over
Zidane's
Zidane. Ben,
fault.
I'm coming. What came over Zidane when he decided he wanted to sack Gary Bale from this team? This team, Gary Bale cannot be comfortable and play in this team. Then no other player should be made to play in this team.
Somebody said something.
that was a wrong stance to take.
And I'm tempted to agree that Florentino Perez was not happy with the way Zidane left
escaped.
Madrid.
So he's
So
brought
he's
him
brought
back.
him
Bringing him
back so
back,
he
yep.
can fire him properly.
Makes perfect sense to me.
But look, on a PSG side, on a PSG side, I think it was fantastic getting Idrissa Gana Gueye. Because this is a player they had been chasing, or this is a type of player they had been chasing for years. And I think Gana Gueye, I'm sure Thomas Tuchel must have looked at him from the touchline and was happy.
Did you see the hard? There's a video.
And I'm happy for this discussion too, because during the AFCON period, we extensively discussed the evolution of Idrissa Gana Gueye.
As a
Guys,
player.
it's not just Ghana Gueye. PSG and is no fault of theirs. They are in the French league. That's why a lot of people have overlooked them. But from the January transfer window to the summer transfer window, they've made some very important signings. And frankly speaking,
Like
they can
Ande
go the entire season without Neymar, Cavani, and Mbappe. They don't need them, and they'll be cool. Look at the front line. And I'll be very surprised if Cavani comes back into this front line and displaces Icardi. I'll be very surprised. Because look, Icardi is better than Cavani. Let's be honest. Di Maria on form is very difficult to take him out of this team because he doesn't just play well. He works a lot harder than Neymar and Mbappe.
And he scores goals.
He scores goals also. Obviously, Neymar is Neymar. Neymar will start. But this PSG team is so talented. And just look at the difference from the second leg or the first leg when they faced Manchester United, where they had all these midfield problems. They didn't have anybody to fill in, and they needed Marquinhos to come from centre back to fill.
Also brilliant.
But
on
now,
the field.
where they have so much quality in this team and so much quality on the bench, and I'll take it back to buying a squad. You see, people with sense and vision, they buy squad. They don't buy first 11. Because when you buy a first 11 and somebody gets injured,
Problem.
you are back to square one.
And another standout game for me was that Atletico and Juve match.
Oh my goodness.
It was
It was an absolute
There's
crash.
such a good
The
game. of
Sarri
football.
ball, no, let me say, I don't like it. It's not working for Daddy. That is not enjoying. That is not enjoying Sarri ball.
Baba, you mean Baba?
That is not enjoying Sarri
it's
ball.
too slow for him.
And Sarri must fix it. He must find a way to.
You see, the thing is that if Sarri doesn't fix it, Baba will fix Sarri. That's the
Exactly.
truth. When it
It's as
comes to
simple as
Baba,
that.
he will fix Sarri. If Sarri won't fix it,
We
But
can't be
small,
playing like this.
Small. We have to talk about delete.
Matthias de Ligt.
No,
He's
that young
frauding
man,
us.
he's
And
still
for
a kid.
you,
No. You see, for that young man, look, take it or leave it. At his age, he's the best we've seen for a very long time. Can
For
he
his
keep
age
it?
group, yes.
Yes. Can he keep it? No, he will climb onto. He's not. Don't forget. Defenders
that's what I'm
get
saying.
better.
We're saying
maybe we're
right
expecting
now.
too much for him
Yeah,
too soon.
But maybe he's set a very high standard for himself. But defenders surely get better with age. And for me, at 19, 20, he'll make the sort of mistakes he's
And
making.
look, frankly speaking, last season he was actually making some of these mistakes.
Yes, he'll make them.
Just
But at the end of the
overlook
day,
because he was at
I am
Ajax.
surprised that he's playing alongside an experienced player like Bonucci. And Bonucci is not taking up the responsibility to control him to do the simple thing. Because we see him play
Do you
alongside
people know that
KDB.
your show time is over? You have closed.
Relax. We'll close.
If I leave you, will you talk to
But
the
talking-
boss says relax.
Talking about defenders who did really well. I thought Khalidou Koulibaly was magnificent.
Khalidou Koulibaly is in a bracket created for only him and Virgil van Dijk at this
He
point.
was
it takes.
It's just
magnificent.
there are two centre backs in the world
world
now.
football.
Khalidou Koulibaly, Van Dijk, and then the others. Who do you want to add to this?
But how can we finish this show and we didn't talk about the three people who wanted to take one penalty?
At Chelsea.
Ross, Willian, Jorginho. Look, I have one thing to say about this.
But this is a Chelsea thing, though.
No, first of
Balak
all-
and Drogba have been through it.
No, I understand. First of all, I think Lampard is lying.
No, he
Barkley,
lied.
he lied because Barkley cannot be his penalty taker.
He actually is.
Look, and if
One person to address the issue.
and if Barkley is, then I have a serious problem with it, because first of all, in Sarri's time, we know that it was Hazard first, Jorginho, and then whoever. I think Willian was even ahead
Yeah,
of
William
Barkley,
was ahead of him.
and it worked. Did Jorginho miss penalties?
No, he never did.
He was a very able deputy. So why do you come and change the system when the penalty happened? And I think the reason why I'm saying Lampard is lying is because you always see the body language. If the players knew that Jorginho was or Barkley was the second, why would they go and fight over the penalty?
Because he came off the bench.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on.
Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If Hazard came off the bench and there was a
plays.
penalty,
That's
he would
Hazard.
hit it. If Pogba and Rashford were on the pitch and one of them came off the bench, the person supposed to kick will kick. Once Barkley was on the pitch, if he was the one supposed to kick, nobody would have argued. William stood there for like about 5 minutes. It was almost I won't go. If you don't let me kick, I won't go. And did you see the stare he gave Barkley after he missed? It clearly shows that first of all, it's either the players don't know or they don't respect the manager's decision to allow Barkley to take the penalties.
Yeah, just quick highlights on DSTV. So, Premier League is live tonight. There are games. Tomorrow. There are games as well. Sunday, huge one. There's Chelsea v Liverpool happening Sunday. That's on Super Sport 3. There's Spanish Primera Liga action as well. Atletico taking on Celta on. That's happening on Saturday as well, and then they've got Italian Serie A. The biggest game in Italian football is happening this weekend, which is also on the Derby della Madonnina, the Milan Derby.
The Milan Derby.
Yep.
Oh, King Luca.
Ete match le no ete no dressing room.
King Luca.
It's okay.
Since
Let's
you
get
mentioned
to-
Luka, Antonio Conte to enter Champions League. What's up?
But Antonio Conte is winning the Serie A this season, though.
Yeah,
Marcus.
but I did not say Serie A. I
No, but
said
he will win
Conte
it.
and the
Klopp
Champions
lost.
He doesn't.
Lampard lost. What is your problem?
Antonio Conte doesn't have a
Klopp
Champions
is
League.
the Champions League winner, so is Lampard.
Losing
Antonio
is part of-
Conte doesn't have a team to win a
Lampard is
Champions
the
League.
Champions League.
Let's get to our Betway picks of the week, the Sports Panorama Betway picks of the week. So we have Leicester City versus Tottenham, both teams to score we have Everton versus Sheffield United. We have Everton winning that. Man City versus Watford. We have Man City winning that. We have Bayern versus Cologne. We have over 2.5 goals in that one. We have Olympique Lyonnais versus PSG. We have over 2.5 in that one as well. And then we have Arsenal versus Aston Villa. We have Arsenal to win that game. Your booking code is 529A4D0. 529A4D0. We'll put this up on the official Citi FM handle just so you can get in touch with it. Do what you want to do with it out there. But we have to bring the show to a close. Not before I mention that Baby Jet, the Monko, Ole Monko, Ole Monko, Charlie Oko India. East what? Northeast United.
Yes.
I will not be taking any suggestions. We have don't commit the move. Anthony Cruz, the world has seen your life. Good night from us here on Sports Panorama. The Premier League preview show is up next.